What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLORIan here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today what I want to do is break down the trailer to episode 22 of season 10 of The Walking Dead, titled Here's Negan.
Let's start with your name.
So Here's Negan premieres tonight and everything, which I'm very excited for because this episode is being hyped up as possibly one of the greatest episodes of The Walking Dead ever, and is one of the greatest episodes of season 10 ever, and just an episode that everyone's been waiting for fucking years, which is Negan's backstory, which I'm super excited for. And this trailer just shows me so many excited things, and I'm assuming a lot of the fans and everything that they're really excited for, because man, I've been waiting for Negan's backstory for such a long time. But yeah, without further ado, we're any distraction on the top right into the trailer, and this trailer will be linked down below in the description, so if you guys do want to go check it out, make sure to check the link down below in the description. And yep, let's hop right into the trailer. So the first shot in the trailer is Negan pretty much sitting in Daryl and Lay's cabin, because in one of the sneak peeks that we did get for season 10 episode 22 is Carol essentially said that the board of Alexandria, or the council, voted Negan out of Alexandria to be exiled and everything, which we all know it's mainly because Maggie is there. I'm assuming that's why Carol wants him out. So that's where Negan's sitting right now, pretty much out of fire and everything, inside his little, or Lay and Daryl's little cabin, I think, because Carol pretty much just sent him out for exile and everything because probably doesn't want him to get killed by Maggie. Because in another sneak peek we did get a couple weeks ago and everything, we did hear Carol going she will kill you if you stay here, pretty much saying to Negan she'll kill you, so you gotta get out. So I'm assuming that this is pretty much where he's been exiled to by Carol and everything, which is pretty much just like the comics. Is Negan goes pretty much to this little cabin in the comics, and that's where he is. And here's Negan, and in his kind of spin-off comic Negan Lives, and you do get to see his leather jacket and bat on on the chair and everything, which is pretty cool that he has the bat back, which is something that we did see in a another teaser sneak peek for episode 22, which we do get to see more of as we get further into this breakdown. We get a close-up shot of Negan turning his head, which this is pretty much from another trailer when Negan turns his head and everything, and he sees his old self Negan, which I can't wait to see how they do that and everything, and how they incorporate the old Negan. Maybe it's him fighting off his past self. I don't know. I feel it'll be interesting. I don't know how they'll incorporate the old Negan, but it should be interesting. Next we get a shot of Lucille and everything. This is obviously after she's been given her cancer diagnosis and everything, and she's shaved her head and everything. She's sitting in bed and everything. She does look very sick at this point and very weak, because you can see around her eyes and everything she looks just very tired, drawn out, and extremely sick. And she's pretty much telling Negan that we can't stay here, we have to move, we have to go and find people. And Negan pretty much says it's too dangerous out there and everything, and it's too dangerous that we should stay here. And there's not really much to talk about in this scene to break down, besides the fact that it's Lucille and Negan, I think, talking to each other and everything about how the fact that they need to move, they need to go find more people, and Negan just saying it's too dangerous. And this is probably very, very into the apocalypse, near when Lucille will die, because she, like I said in this shot, she does look very, very sick and everything, with the bags under her eyes, and how just she just does look very sick. Next we see Negan pretty much cuddling with Lucille in bed and everything, which is it just feels very a warm moment and everything, because you see both of them smiling and just hugging each other, and it's just a very nice scene and everything. I'm very interested to see, because we've gotten tons and tons of teasers and everything of Hillary Byrne and Negan and everything, or Hillary Byrne and Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Negan and Lucille and everything on set, and everything is just insane, and they just play so well off of each other, and I really can't wait to see them on set and everything, or just more of them in full scenes, because man, from what I've seen, I think they play so well off of each other, and just in this scene, it just warms my heart to see them two together and everything. But based on how Lucille looks in this shot and everything, how she kind of looks the same as she did in that previous shot, I'm assuming that this is when Negan returns home, maybe after he goes somewhere, I think, looks out for supplies and everything, and after Lucille tells him we should go and find people, he says it's too dangerous, and then they shut off lights and everything, and they end up sleeping together and everything. Next we get Negan furiously throwing his a beer bottle, or it looks to be a bottle of moonshine or whatever, or some form of cup of something at like, his chair where there's like a leather jacket sitting. And based on what we've seen in other teasers or anything with like, the old Negan sitting in the chair, I'm assuming he's gonna get very pissed off by hearing his like old self. He's gonna throw like, the bottle at it to like, I guess get it out of his head and everything. But it's really cool to see his like, leather jacket, like, sitting there. I just started looking at this, like, right now his bat actually isn't here. But I guess we'll get to that later in the trailer. In the next show, we do get to see Negan walking on the road with a canister of gas and everything. I'm assuming he's trying to find like gas to get Lucille and him maybe a car. Or in another like, sneak peek that we did get, Lucille did say like, Negan didn't want to kill the walkers and everything. And like, she was like, oh, go turn on the generators. So I do wonder if this is A, for them a car, like, to get somewhere else besides where they are, or B, a way to like, power their generators. And it looks like Negan does have kind of a weapon hanging or a backpack maybe like, hanging over him. And based on the area he's in, like, it's on a road and everything, it looks like there's lots of supplies around him based on like the crates and everything and all the tarps. And there's also a really clean looking car next to him. But the jacket he has on looks very similar to the one he has where he's telling Lucille it's too dangerous to go out. So I do wonder if this is during the day and then like, he goes out, searches for supplies and everything and then comes back with the gas and everything, and then that's where he tells her it's too dangerous and then they like end up like going to sleep. Or if this is maybe like, the next day or maybe a previous day, I'm not sure. Maybe he wears this jacket a lot. I have no clue what Negan's fashion style is besides a leather jacket. That's all we know him for so far. Next, we get to see an overview shot of some trucks and an RV and everything, which obviously that will play further into the trailer and everything, but overall, a nice shot. Not much to break down besides the RV and the truck. Next, we get to see Negan running around in what looks like a beta type, like, jacket that he has on. I think it's just a really heavy jacket, but he has on this really heavy jacket that we did see in a previous trailer where him and like, Lucille, or he was fighting off a walker and that like, with some goggles on, and Lucille ended up like, shooting the walker that like, was like kind of going on to him and everything with like, the IV in her arm. But he has on this big jacket and everything. He clearly has something hanging over his back and everything, kind of like a holster for maybe like a gun. And he does have a pistol in his hand. He's running. He has this like, black beanie on, which I think just looks really cool. But I do wonder, what is he running to or from? But in the next show, we do get to see Negan with like, a backpack on, which I did figure was a backpack. I thought it was a gun at first, like maybe like, an AK or like, something that like, required like a strap. But we see Negan in the exact same outfit that he had on the most previous shot where he was running towards somewhere. So I do wonder if he was maybe running towards these RVs because maybe there's someone that he's looking out for. Because it is mentioned in another sneak peek that we did get that I probably won't get the chance to break down before the episode premieres, like, tonight. But there's someone that taunts him about like, his like, IV bags or something about like, something that Lucille needs and everything. So I do wonder if this is maybe a place where he gets like, the IV bags or whatever. Because he does seem very like, he's really like, stealthy about going about the place. Like it's very like, key that he gets this stuff. So I'm assuming all this, like these medical supplies are possibly in these RVs and everything. And that's why he seems super intense about them. And he has a gun. So I'm assuming he's got to rob someone for something. Then we get another nice and tender, like, moment between Lucille and Negan and everything. Lucille has her on like kind of like, purple wig on, and Negan, just looking like Negan and everything in a kiss. And I just think it's nice. And I think yet again, I can't wait to see them two on screen. Next, we see Negan walking up to a barbed wire fence or a like, chain link fence, and with some barbed wire on it. And he pretty much cuts the barbed wire off and everything. I'm assuming that this is when he starts like, as we do see in like, a couple shots, or I'm not going to act like, I don't already know what's going to happen in this trailer. But we do get to see Negan pretty much wrapping up Lucille and everything after he cuts the barbed wire off. And I'm assuming that this is when like, the first creation of Lucille. I am very interested to see though how he gets Lucille and how he gets the bat in general and who gives it to him. Because obviously in the comics, he like, I think steals it off of someone after killing them. I don't know, I haven't read it in a while. But when he does like, address those bikers in that one building, like, those are the people who taunt him with like, stealing Lucille's like IV bags and everything. He does have Lucille in that like, in one of those shots. So I do wonder if he like, makes Lucille and goes after them after they taunt him and he like, escapes maybe, which makes like the most sense. But it's cool to see like, him wrapping Lucille and creating the original Lucille. Then this is a shot we've already seen before, so I'll be very brief on it, but we get a shot of Negan kicking down a door to a burning building. I'm still very concerned by what this burning building is. Like, I do wonder if it's some, like, maybe one of the bikers who started a fire inside, like, Negan and Lucille's house, possibly. Or if maybe, like, Negan, like, this is after Lucille dies and Negan's just, like, burning away his past, which makes some sense and everything, because, like, I'm pretty sure he just wants to forget about, like, his past and then burn his old house, just forget about it all, lose his humanity in his mind, which makes the most sense in my opinion. But I think it's just badass to see Negan kicking down, like, the door and anything to a burning house with Lucille in his hand, in my opinion. He's just a badass character, honestly. Next, we get to see a location that we have not seen since, I think, season 8, which is the location where I think the episode Wrath happened and everything, episode 16 of season 8. The big, like, all-out war final battle and anything where Rick slit Negan's throat and everything, and they had the, like, fight and tussle, and where, like, that big painting thing that, like, you know, Rick shot out and then slit Negan's throat up with, like, you know, a piece of glass. But we do get to go back to the location right here. We pretty much get to see, like, you know, just the location. And we get to see Negan right here with a shovel. And this is the shovel that he'll be digging around this area for Lucille, which he'll eventually find the original Lucille, which in my opinion is just insane because it's the first time we've seen this Lucille bat since season 8. Yeah, pretty much season 8, episode 16. But he's looking up at this, like, you know, at, like, you know, the glass, like, you know, painting. I'm assuming a glass, like, you know, just yeah, painting. He's looking up at it. I do wonder if he's gonna, like, you know, as he's, like, you know, digging up and looking for Lucille or anything, which will be really cool in my opinion for him to finally be reunited with Lucille, which we did get a sneak peek of him finding her, and he was very emotional about it, which is cool. But I do wonder if he's gonna look up at this, like, shard of glass going, so that's how that motherfucker Rick, like, you know, slim at them. That's where he got the glass from, because he's gonna see, like, you know, the hole in, like, you know, the glass or the painting and everything, which is just gonna be funny. So I do wonder if he's gonna, like, you know, have that realization with, like, oh, that's how he, like, slit my throat. But or he's gonna, like, you know, look up at it and everything's gonna have, like, a flashback or just remember, like, you know, Rick and, like, you know, that whole battle in general and their fight. Next we get to see Negan walking through a bar. Yeah, again, we've seen this shot like a million times or anything, but him walking through a bar with, like, you know, gun point at someone, which is clearly one of the biker guys or both of them, and you know he's gonna fucking slaughter those guys for especially, like, you know, taunting him with his wife's, like, you know, life-saving medication. But he just looks really badass in this shot in my opinion. Next we get to see that shot that I did mention earlier, which is Lucille and everything shooting, like, you know, the walker that's attacking Negan and everything, and Negan has on that same jacket that he did in that one shot where he's, like, you know, running towards the RVs to get Lucille's medication. It's just a really badass scene to see Lucille and how badass she is, how she just shoots the walker and everything. We then get to see, like, you know, Negan and everything obviously pouring gasoline throughout his house, like, you know, to set it on fire, like I said, to probably forget his past. We then get to see, like, you know, Negan and everything just, like, you know, looking like badass over the fire. This looks a lot like the shot in the comics that while he's, like, looking at the fire while he's burning Lucille, although there is a fire in the episode when he's burning down his house in the flashback, so I can't tell if this is him burning Lucille or the house, but based on how he looks, I'm assuming this is him burning the house. But this shot just looks exactly like how he looks in the comics when, like, you know, he burns Lucille and everything, he's walking away and he just looks smug. We then get to see the glass shatter to the bar doors and everything, which I'm assuming is what happens after he maybe fires a gunshot at one of the people. Then we get to see him raise his bat and everything, like the season. I've been seeing that picture go up a lot and everything all over, like, you know, Twitter with The Walking Dead. It is, like, you know, Negan raising his bat and how it looks like him during the lineup in season 7, which this looks just like really badass, him holding, like, you know, Lucille up to what I'm assuming, or most likely definitely is one of the biker people, which I think will just be such a badass scene, because like I said, you know he's gonna slaughter them and everything, and just he looks badass in this shot in general with Lucille, his leather jackets, and just old-fashioned Negan. Just, like, you know, this episode's just gonna be fucking awesome. And the final shot's just, like, you know, old school Negan, I think, sitting in, like, you know, the cabin chair, which, like I said, we've seen before and everything, but that's, I'm assuming, what Negan's gonna throw, like, you know, the beer bottle out in the beginning of the trailer. But that was my breakdown for the season 10 episode 22 Here's Negan trailer and everything, and like I said, extremely excited for this episode to see, like, you know, the backstory of Negan and everything, and just him and Hillary Byrne interacting, because like I said, from the sneak peeks I did see and everything, they seem like just wonderful together in my opinion. Like, they really play off each other extremely well, obviously because they're married in real life and everything and have kids together, but so, like, I'm not sure if the kids aspect really matters towards their chemistry. It probably does, since it's, like, you know, kids kind of connect you more, but they, from what I've seen, they play off each other extremely well, and I honestly can't wait to see how much fun they have and what they make of this backstory, because there's just so many amazing shots in this trailer and from sneak peeks that we've gotten, like, you know, throughout this, like, you know, week and everything, throughout this month and just, like, year in general, from, like, you know, Here's Negan stuff. And like I said, very excited to see their chemistry together. Like I said, it just seems amazing already. I think to just hit, like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton more. I completely forgot her name because I'm speaking so quick, but just can't wait to see their chemistry and how they play off each other and everything, and just, like, you know, what Negan's gonna do to those biker guys, and just, I just can't wait to see the fucking Here's Negan episode. It's just gonna be such an amazing episode in my opinion. The best in the entire series? Probably not, but definitely up there in my top 10 episodes of all time. And yeah, my review for that and the other episodes, which I've been very delayed on, have been, you know, I'm gonna make them probably later on down the line, because I've just been very busy with school and everything. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and anything more of the latest in the Walking Dead universe and more breakdowns like this or anything. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this episode if you've already seen it, but try not to spoil it, and your thoughts on, like, you know, what will happen in the episode and how excited you are for the episode, if there's anything I did miss in this trailer breakdown. And also, yeah, happy Easter and everything if I do get this video up on Easter. Hopefully I do, because if I don't, it won't make any fucking sense since we've already seen the episode. But yeah, I'm running out of breath and everything. Very excited for the episode. Yep, see you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.